Okay. Welcome back to Rome. The Senate and the people, or whatever it's called. I have a few things to say. First off, I have found a guide which is actually written out exactly what to do. Which I was looking for. I thought I had that saved as well on one of my PCs somewhere. So, yeah, I do have a guide. I actually looked up how to do this puzzle. Apparently the solution is that you do exactly as I did. Also, second thing I want to say is, if you read all these letters here, it says Roma in Sendit, right? And that's supposed to mean... Let's see if I can do it like this as well. And that means Rome burns. So... Wait, what? Heck. I thought it was... Was supposed to be able to get in here, right? Or... It's closed already. What? I'm so confused. This is supposed to be working. Also, I picked the other, I can't even enter here. Huh? I didn't try this out, obviously, as you can see. From the prefect's office, the authorities are confident that the rumors regarding the theft of the Palladium from the Atrium Vestae will not hamper the festivities or disrupt law and order. There is no reason whatsoever for public disquiet in the first place. This would have... There is a reason... This would have been the last crime committed by the fraudulent Vestal of unholy repute before her exposure and execution. In the second place, the very persistence of the hearsay points to the work of her accomplices and secret sympathizers of the murderous prefect, whose memories is deservedly cursed. This means that those who continue spreading alarm engage in subversive acts and are liable to prosecution. I am Sybil. Rome's guardian has been torn from our heart. The Palladium has fallen through the corrupt cracks in the unholy house of the Vestals. Beware, Calamidas, for he may have many faces. So who's this? This is Lucius? Sybil? Gordian? Rania? Or that's Gordian and the other one was Xanthus. Lucius. This is Xanthus, right? Nah, who knows. Also, another thing, I was not recording. I was not recording yesterday, but I still had a video there. I need to read this again, because I just don't... Do what? Okay, I can't even see this. That's okay. We'll just read exactly what it says here on the tutorial then. Restart. The weights thing. Temple of Antoninus and Faustina / water organ. Pride ID April. This temple is at the northeast end of the forum, just past the Temple of Caesar. Inside the temple is a pump and an organ. Pull the pump lever, then go to the organ and slide the knobs on the doors to open them. You'll see that you need to enter a 4-letter word. Press the 8th, 9th, 1st and 2nd keys, spelling Nero. Clue: this is referred to in scrolls and notebooks as Nero's water organ, and if you press all 12 keys in order from left to right, it spells out Roma incendit. Rome burns. Very quickly click to the left. There's a niche there. The back wall is opening. Although it appears that the opening is to the right, all you'll find on the right side is a soldier statue, which doesn't help you very much. If you miss the left-handed opening, just start over and enter Nero again. Inside you'll find a wooden soldier, a piece of marble, and a scroll. Get them, turn around, and wait until the niche turns into a door, which leads out to the back of the temple. If you try to exit too soon, you'll wind up back in the organ room, and you can't get through the front doors. The head of the horseman statue turns to look at you, shades of Jason and the Argonauts. You can retry all of this if you don't get it right the first time. So this is exactly what I've been doing, right? Give me a sec. I'll just try and spell this out. Maybe that helps. I just don't know why it's not opening to the left then. I don't get that. I really don't. Like even now, I literally read the spoilers. Oh well. From the prefect's office first. By the Emperor's special order, the Commission of Expert in Things Sacred was set up to inquire into the outrage which took place in the penetralia of the Atrium Vestae. After the careful scrutiny of all available materials, the Commission announces, it is indeed a matter of public knowledge that in the ancient times there occurred a similar attempt at sacrilege. Thereupon, a number of artifacts made in full resemblance of the Palladium and indistinguishable from each other had been permanently enshrined in the penetralia to befuddle any possible intruder and thereby prevent a repetition of the same blasphemy. From the prefect's office, second. It pleases the Commission to conclude that the objects apparently stolen belong among those very counterfeits. While the original Palladium suffered no harm, the actual place of its safekeeping is known only to a Vestal Virgin, the Vestal Virgins, whose incorruptibility proved legendary. Therefore, The authorities came to believe that the theft was perpetrated by person or persons insane, or by the foreigners ignorant of our practices and procedures. The magister of the Orville brothers is instructed to offer thanks to the god for the aversion of a major disaster, which is yet another sign of their unshakable benevolence in regard to our emperor and our empire. A keepsake. Verania is more like the strong northern woman I know than the timid Roman matrons. She knew this long hair of hers that she treasures would eventually give her away. She knew what she had to do, and she did it with only a moment's hesitation. She took the shears firmly in hand and cut her long beautiful locks. Afterward she retired to her private corner of my lair. I swept up her hair cuttings and put them in a pouch for safekeeping. I don't understand. What do I hear? No. Why is it opening? It's supposed to be opening here on the left, right? That's what I just read. This puzzle is making me sick. I'm gonna try loading a save in April. We'll see if that works. Just right. So what is the date we have to be looking for here? Stupid thing. Pride ID April. Just can't even. Stupid game. Don't think this is gonna work though. I mean, we're already a day late, but hey. Trying it anyway. I was like, for sure. What? I really don't like this. Because I'm doing the same exact thing again. But now I know that the wall is supposed to open on the other side, but like, how am I getting there? I don't. Looks so weird though. Let's try again. We'll just try and get the exact date here. There we go. on this save, I actually haven't been here before, so like I don't. Really don't understand. Let's try this. Try and press all the keys. I mean, if that is not even it, then like... I just don't get it. Is my game bugged? What is going on here with this thing? I literally just have the solution here, it just doesn't work. I mean, I had the solution before also, and it didn't work. So annoying. Like... Like if I click here, it doesn't even... doesn't even do anything. Well, that was useless. So, I really don't like that. I really don't like that. Let's see. Where are we supposed to go now? Well, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Did we read this? I think we read that. So that's good. Let's get out of here. Out of this mess. So where are we? Sanctus, safekeeping. New suspects. I've been stupid. I thought all along that there could be only one Calamitis, but what if there is more than one person committing these crimes? These crimes have been of such desperate nature, they can't all have been done by the same person. Dousing the vessel fire and tampering with the standard weights are not similar crimes. They can't have been committed by the same person. Which Calamitis actually intends to bring down the city? Freedom. My hair was last cut on my first day as a Vestal 30 years ago. Since then my hair has grown so long. I wore it twisted around my head with ribbons. The more twist, the more dignity attained by the Vestal. I had 30 years of dignity twisted around my head. I relieved myself of the burden this morning. I took shears and cut off my hair. I hesitated for a moment before I began, and then the deed was done. I am changed. I mean, the morning of this day? I don't believe that, because Sanctus already said something about cutting the hair earlier. A row of columns has been completed. I used the Phrygian marble that they used in the exterior columns of the Basilica Aemilia. I stayed at the site until after the sun went down. The columns still held the heat of the day. I pressed my body to the marble and let its warmth fill me. I made silent prayer to the gods. I built this temple to publicly honor my emperor and to privately honor my lost son Marcus. But please let me receive that which I believe is due me in return. Let's see, where's things? Actually, this door comes in later, right? I think. We'll actually be using that at some point. 2 exits, I think. And this door. What am I doing? Let's see, we're looking for... I think we're looking for the first... For AD, fourth ID, Yule? Well. Also, I need to know where to go. Where do I go? What am I supposed to do? So this is September. The door also, I don't know what it does. Let's see, where are we going? Temple of Antoninus, East Forum. I want to go to the bass house thingy. Where do I get that? Everything is just named Forum conveniently. Guardian's office. Nope, that's not it. This is over here. This is over here. This is over here. I could go around. We've just checked that earlier. Where's the bass house even? Don't recall. That's bad. That's pretty bad. This is the House of the Vessel Virgins. We've been in here. How can I be this bad at navigating? What is going on? Another one of those doors that doesn't exist. Lucius wine shop. It's not Lucius wine shop, but a wine shop where Lucius lives. Do we need a key to open that? I'm not sure. This is dumb. What are behind these doors that are like these doors but not quite? Right over here. Wait, is this... Yeah. Okay. So we can't enter this. I'm confused. If you don't notice already. At the palace, Severus is in a rage. He wants to know why I make my pronouncements after the fact. Why didn't I warn him about the Palladium? They take precautions to protect the statue. Identical jars are placed in the penetralia, and it is hard to tell which contains the Palladium. What Aeneas brought from Troy, Severus wants to know why this didn't work. I tried to soothe him, but he prefers his rage to all else. Be careful here. Sybil. Wait, what date are we even? Where is this on the map? It's like right over here. It's actually quite it's like underneath this temple. Here's lockers and there's lockers. I should have known. And this is also the bathhouse, of course. So what are we waiting for? What date? I don't know. Let me just read on my notes here. The spoilers. The Sacred Grove holds many secrets. Let's see, where are we at? July. Yule. I've written this date down, but I don't know. Where did I get that one? It says here June, not July. A night sojourn. I went to the Vestal compound to see if I might need some clues to the theft in case Verania learns of the stolen Palladium. The ground was disturbed around the shrine. I walked up the Via Nova to the Sacred Grove and found the ground disturbed there as well. I hid in the trees and overheard hooligans talking. They admired the thief for discovering which of the many jars in the Penetralia actually held the Palladium. So I don't know. Did Xanthus get the right one or no? The investigation. There were footprints at the shrine of Vesta, and there were signs of an intruder in the sacred grove on the Palatine Hill of the Via Nova. I wasn't allowed in the house, so I could not investigate the penetralia. Dirt from around the shrine was embedded in the foot impresses in the grove, and I found some mud mixed with the laurel, which like those in the grove at the door to the house. I deduced that the intruder went first to the shrine, then to the grove, and then to the penetralia. Pain in the rear. Sybil is in a bad mood these days. She's risen above her station, and I think she fears she will fall. Again, she asked about moving into the finance office. And again, I told her she needs the Emperor's permission. I wish I did not have to deal with such common people. Not only is she foreign, but she is a freed slave. When I am prefect of grain and oversee Ostia, I will be free of the petty grievances of small people. Right, you think. Other people. I have longed to mix with others, but I feel overwhelmed by the bustle of the city. Sometimes I feel as if I don't even know how to walk. For the first time in my life, I went to the public baths. I watched awkwardly as other women enjoyed themselves, gossiping and moving from pool to pool. There were so many bodies, and they moved so freely about. I felt the awe of a child watching her mother perform her toilet. Property. I spoke with Gordian again about moving my businesses into the finance office. He keeps insisting I need the Emperor's permission, but with Severus in a rage, this isn't the best time to ask him for a favor. I have to get back to the Emperor's good side so I can get the finance officers out of that building. Let's see, I'm gonna try this. This is probably where I got the date, right? No. Why did I write this date down? And why is it correct? I mean, not this day, but I wrote down the 4th ID. A rejection. I went to Senator Proculus's house in the late morning to avoid running into his client bowing to him. But there was still a few left waiting in the atrium, avoiding the early summer heat. I waited with them after giving my name to Proculus's nomenclator. After an hour, I was led into Proculus's office, where I quickly rejected his offer of patronage. I am an Antonine after all. The day will come when I will be patron, not client, to a senator.
I tell Verenia of my family and how the Roman army came to conquer my village. We repelled them time and again, but they were too strong for us in the end. They burned the village and slaughtered everyone they found. I saw my father fall, and then my mother, whose screams rang out long after she was dead. My sisters and I ran for the trees, but only I made it to safety. When I finish the horrible tale, I see Verenia is weeping, and her fists are clenched.
It's nice, I didn't have to read that because he was telling the story. Frustration. Volvia has been assigned to work with me on the repairs at the House of the Vessels. She is not up to the job. She is too slow in her head, although she is perfection in every other way. She cannot wrap her tiny mind around the ideas required. I miss Verania's wit and intelligence. Repairs will be slowed because at every turn Vilvia must run to the eldest Vestal for approval and explanation. Oh, these plebs. Why you have to deal with them. A perfect shot. Following the popular celebration in honors of Fortuna 2 days ago, the Taurian Games at the Colosseum provided the loyal citizens with splendid entertainment. The marvelous weather only contributed to the universal sense of happiness, and it could be seen that the audience particularly enjoyed masterful strokes with which the victorious gladiators were finishing off the misery of their fallen foes. During the beasts fights that came next, our emperor's valiant son, Antoninus Augustus, in a fit of manly excitement, personally and successfully cut down a raging bull by the means of arrows issued from the imperial box. Right? Holiest of holies. I returned to the baths to grow accustomed to the crowds, and it was there I heard women talking about the theft of the Palladium. The statue is the image of Pallas, who the Greeks call Athene, and we call Minerva. It came from heaven at Troy. When Troy fell, Aeneas brought it to Rome. Should just read this as Aeneas. It is written that as long as the Palladium is in Rome, secure in the Penetralia, then Rome is safe. But the Palladium was stolen. But I think the Palladium, this new paper wants us to believe there was not the correct Palladium. Right? A new problem. Crixus is blackmailing me. He says he will tell the Emperor I framed Verania, and that I'm a fraud if I don't give him as much gold as he can carry. He's very strong, and I fear he will bankrupt me. These Thracians really can't be trusted. Maybe Spartacus wasn't an exception after all. The only good news is that the heat of summer is upon Rome, and I am warmed with reminders of my native Syria. Oh, so nice. Memory. I finally remembered why Xanthus looked familiar to me. I saw him last year near Cornelius's. If this barbarian knew Cornelius, he can't be all bad. Maybe Xanthus just seemed suspicious to Gordian because he was working on an invention the way Cornelius was always absorbed with contraptions. Maybe the document Gordian found was just notes for a new clepsydra or a grain mill. So what's this? I have no idea. Oh no. Stories. I tell her of our founding gods, Tuisco and his son Manus. Romans believe Hercules visited my people because we sing of him when we go into battle. They also say Ulysses visited the northern forests when he was on his travels after the fall of Troy. My people work hard and celebrate well. Our armies are strong, as they are based on family and clan, and our women are the most sacred witnesses of our bravery in battle, for we hear their cries of encouragement even in the heat of combat. A triumph of engineering. I brought in a hoisting machine to speed up work on the temple. The faster the work is completed, the sooner I can be in Ostia as Prefectus Annone. Cornelius always experimented with the design of the machine, but he never seemed to be able to improve it. The crane lifts enormous and heavy items, freeing up laborers to perform other tasks. I love to watch the great slabs of marble as they fly through the air like large birds. Right? Barbarian life. Sanctus and I spent the evening talking by lamplight. His true name is Segestus, and he is a barbarian from the northern forest. They choose their leaders by birth. And their military men by merit. Peculiar concepts in Rome. They have gods. They go about armed, and their weapons carry the same honor that we give to the toga. They count nights and not days, which I find myself doing now. Perhaps I am becoming a barbarian. I certainly no longer feel Roman. A change. I am wallowing in power and luxury one moment, and the next the emperor and my slave turn on me. My joy over Verania's ruin has been short-lived. I find my rage and loneliness returning. The hot nights remind me of my youth in Syria, and I dream of my long-gone soldier and the pain he caused. He caused my mind's eye to close so that I could no longer see the future. I wreaked my vengeance, but it is not enough. So what does this mean? A long-gone soldier and the pain he caused. He caused my mind's eye to close, so that I could no longer see the future. Don't know what that means, to be quite honest. We've seen that. Taurian Games. Sometimes I agree with Juvenal. All the public desires are bread and circuses. It was a magnificent day at the Colosseum. I saw a Samnite with shield and sword yield to a Thracian with a parma and a dagger, in a lengthy and bloody battle of two great gladiators. A bestiarius took on a bull, first drawing him out by waving a red cloak, then killing him like an expert butcher in the meat market. During the battle, Caracalla hit the bull with arrows from the imperial box. Employment. My attempts to find a job have been absurd. At first I was afraid to speak to anyone, fearing they would recognize me. But then, when I finally worked on the courage to ask, the men laughed at me. I saw a woman fishmonger once, and I went down to the docks to the Tiber to look for her. I could not find her. I wandered along the river in the early summer heat, feeling sorry for myself and wondering if I would ever be good at anything besides being a vessel. The future. I am Sybil. A warrior will fall. He threatened our honored ruler, and the stars will make him suffer for his crimes. Beware, traitors, dead and alive. Alone. The polychrome marble and I intend to use in the interior of the temple has become very rare and thus extremely expensive. I have found a supply of it, but my discretionary fund has gotten dangerously low. I have been forced to borrow from the public tabularium fund. I will replace the money as soon as I am able. I am building this temple for the greater glory of the Emperor and of Rome. Surely the public treasury cannot object to that. Right. A good job lost. I found work at Quintus's wine shop. It was mostly heavy lifting and cleaning up drunkards' mess. But his pay was generous. Last night I discovered Lucius the investigator was a regular customer and lived above the shop. Lucius was too intent on his wine to notice me, but I spotted him immediately. I left the shop quickly and have not returned. I am sorry to have lost the wages. Right. Death of the traitor. A suicide by poison of Calpurnius Piso, the commander of the Legio 7 Gemina Paya in Spain. On his visit to the hospital is explained by the contents of the written confessions found at his side. It says that the man took his life out of fear and remorse regarding his participation in treacheries contemplated by the monster of prefect who met just deserts earlier this year. Whatever that means. Most of the names listed in the same document belong to those that are no more among the living. The few who still are should promptly admit their guilt and appeal to the famed clemency of our emperor. Gold. Prefect Papinian didn't like my theory that more than one person could be committing these crimes, but I am certainly appreciated. But he certainly appreciated my hard work. He gave me a large installment on my fee. I am actually a man of some fortune now. I paid back Quintus and celebrated in the cool summer evening with a meal of bass caught beneath the bridges of the Tiber and an amphora of Cuban wine. Of course, wine. The past. Life outside the House of the Vessels is hard and smelly and dirty. Yes, I have the new experiences I hoped for, and I meet the new people I craved, but I miss the quiet and the cleanliness of Vestal life. I miss grinding the sacred corn in the hand mill and storing it in the penetralia besides the palladium, until it is time to mix it with water and salt to make the mola salsa. I miss the ritual sacrifices at the shrine. I miss ... A job well done. I bribed a cleric to poison the visiting commander of Roman legion in Spain. He planted a forged scroll near the body that implicated the dead man and few others in a plot traceable to the late Plautian. Within hours after the Praetorian Guard were called to the scene, I was back in favor with the Emperor. He thanked me for predicting the man's downfall and for any part I played in assisting the stars in their work. The Emperor thanked for that? Well, I'm gonna stop here. Hope you enjoyed. And see you next time. Goodbye.